So, if you're a real estate agent and you got your start in the last few years, you've probably felt it, right? The ground shifting right under your feet. The old strategies, they just don't have the same punch anymore. And that's because the game has totally changed. Today, we're going to break down the new playbook for absolutely thriving in the market of 2026 and beyond.
Look, let's just be real for a second. The old playbook, it's broken. It's done. That high-volume, super low interest rate world that kind of made everyone look like a genius, well, it's gone. And now you've got a lot of established agents feeling this incredible whiplash as the strategies that worked for years are just failing them completely.
But, and this is the really exciting part, if you're not bogged down by all those old habits, this is your moment. You actually have a massive advantage. So the real question is, are you ready to write a new playbook?
To really get why we need a new playbook, you first have to understand we are in a whole new ballgame.
Okay, this slide right here, it just lays out that whiplash perfectly. On the left, you had what was basically easy mode, historically low rates, fueling this crazy transaction frenzy. The volume was so high, it could cover up all sorts of sloppy fundamentals. And on the right, well, that's us, right now. Higher rates, slower volume, and a market that demands you actually know what you're doing. There's really nowhere to hide anymore.
So this huge shift, this whiplash we're all feeling, it's created what I like to call a Moneyball moment for real estate. And if you can wrap your head around this idea, it is an absolute game changer. You know, the whole idea of Moneyball, it actually comes from baseball. On one side, you had this Goliath, the New York Yankees, with a massive $125 million payroll, just buying up all the star players. And on the other side, you had the underdog, the Oakland A's, with this tiny budget who couldn't even dream of competing on money. Sound familiar? I mean, it's basically the big established brokerage versus the hungry new agent, right?
See, the A's knew they couldn't outspend the Yankees. It was impossible, so they didn't even try. Instead, they just changed the game. The whole Moneyball philosophy is about ignoring reputation, ignoring tradition, and focusing with surgical precision on the small, undervalued actions that actually lead to wins. It's about being smarter, not rich.
And that right there brings us to the big question for you. If this scrappy baseball team could pull it off, how do you apply that exact same thinking to your business? What is the real estate equivalent of Moneyball?
Well, it all starts by completely rewriting your playbook. We're going to break down 3, let's call them plays, that are going to be the absolute core of your new strategy.
All right, play number 1. This is a big one. It's a huge mindset shift. You have to focus on fundamentals, not flash. This is all about building a solid foundation of substance instead of just chasing style.
So, what does that actually mean? Let's get practical. Your one and only goal is to create conversations. That's it. It's not about looking like a top producer. Your method isn't buying attention. It's building opportunity, piece by piece, deliberately. And the traps here? Oh, they're so easy to fall into. You see people trying to match the ad spend of some massive team, or they're blowing a ton of money on fancy branding to look established before they even have the business to back it up. That's a one-way ticket to burnout.
Okay, let's move on to play number 2. You need to diagnose your own business, not just blindly follow tradition. It's time to stop doing things just because that's how it's always been done.
And here's the tool that's going to let you do that. Every single real estate business, I don't care how big or small, it's just an engine with 3 core parts. First up, marketing. Its only job is to create conversations. That's it. Then you've got sales. Its job, convert those conversations. And finally, operations. That just supports the whole flow. See? Simple.
So why is this so important? Because when you see your business like this, problems stop feeling so random and overwhelming. If you don't have enough leads, that's a marketing problem. You know exactly where to focus your energy. If you have tons of leads but no clients, that's a sales problem. You know exactly what skill you need to work on. This is how you stop wasting time and money on the wrong things.
And that brings us perfectly to our 3rd and final play for the new playbook. Your focus has to be on creating real opportunity, not just the illusion of momentum. I mean, let's be honest, being busy and being productive are 2 totally different things.
So how do you actually create that real opportunity? You do it with content. Content that builds trust long before you even get on the phone. And it's not about impressing other agents, it's about showing real value to potential clients. You do this across 4 key areas: showing off your listings, highlighting your community, sharing your expertise, and building your personal brand. This is the stuff that warms up a lead so that sales conversation never has to start cold.
Okay, so we've got the plays, but a new playbook needs a new scoreboard, right?
It's time to measure what actually matters.
And here is the absolute key. A real Moneyball strategy means you measure movement, not just effort. I don't care how many calls you made or how many posts you put out there. The only question that matters is, how many people did you move to the next step?
Look, every single prospect follows this same path. It's a journey. They start with a simple conversation, then they move to an appointment, then they become a client, then you get them under contract, and finally, a closing. Your job is just to track this pipeline. Where are people getting stuck? Boom. That's where you put your energy. This is your new scoreboard.
So, what does all this mean? What's the big takeaway? It means you have to finally recognize that you are not playing the same game as the big, established players. You're winning a different game.
You see, success in 2026 and beyond, it isn't about being the biggest or the loudest. It's about being the smartest person in the room. It's about understanding with total precision how opportunities are created, how they're converted, and how they're managed.
Just think back to the Oakland A's. They didn't win by trying to play the Yankees game. They couldn't afford to. They won because they completely changed the rules of the game. They started valuing things the rich teams totally overlooked. And that, right there, is your massive opportunity.
By really focusing on these fundamentals, on creating conversations, on diagnosing your business, on measuring actual movement, you're set up to punch way above your weight in a way this industry hasn't seen for years. So, the only question left to ask is, how are you going to change the game?